In this lesson, we'll guide you through these Fin setup steps. But before we dive in, there are two things that I want to flag. Once you configure these settings and then hit save, Fin is going to be set up to behave in a specific way for a certain set of customers. But you can create more behaviors by clicking here and selecting Add Profile. This means you can have multiple Fin profiles, enabling you to tailor your Fin experience to various audiences. The other thing I want to highlight is the ability to preview Fin as an end user. This is perfect for testing Fin before going live. Okay, let's move on. This first step is pretty straightforward. You just need to ensure you have content uploaded for Fin to use. This can be internal or external content. Internal content comes from your Intercom or Zendesk Help Center. Just note that there are some conditions around exactly which articles Fin will use. External content then comes from any public URL that you choose, like your website, blog posts, pricing pages, and things like that. You can manage all your external content here, and we'll sync with the source URL once a week to ensure it's kept up to date. Once your content has been synced, just click here to allow Fin to use it. Now let's look at the rest of these tabs. I'm going to start with how Fin should behave and how Fin should hand over. We'll come back to the others afterwards. So looking at how Fin should behave, if you want to create a fully automated experience where Fin answers multiple questions and never passes to a teammate, you can select this option. The only thing you really need to know here is that you're going to have to add some messages in order to set the right expectations with your customers, advising them on what to do next or providing an alternate way for them to get help. But most people want Fin to work with their team, so a perfect blend of automated and human support. So with this setting, Fin will try to answer every question asked, and if the customer needs further help, it will pass to a teammate based on your workflows. We'll talk about that in a second. The only other thing to configure here is to choose how Fin should act if a customer becomes inactive. Inactive in this situation means that they haven't replied to a bot message for the last 3 minutes. If they're inactive and Fin has already answered the question, it likely means they've found what they're looking for, so we can automatically close out and it feels right here. But if they're inactive and Fin couldn't answer, we can't really be sure that they got the support that they need. So in cases like this, it's better to pass to a teammate to follow up. So these behavior settings allow you to define when and if Fin should pass to a team or not. The Handover tab then lets you define how exactly they are passed to your team. A quick note here, don't forget to enable this setting. The handover is an important step to configure correctly. It could be something really simple, like a message to let customers know what's happening, and an assignment action to pass them to the right team or teammate. But the best thing to do here is to pass to a reusable bot or workflow. But hey, you might be saying to yourself, I don't have any reusable bots. I just have a bot that appears in the messenger, like how do I use that? That's absolutely no problem. Any bot or workflow that you have built can be turned into a reusable bot or workflow. All you need to do is go to the bot itself, look at your settings under the More tab, and hit Duplicate. From this menu, you can select a different trigger, and if you pick the reusable trigger here, now you have a reusable bot which Fin can hand over to. And this bot can triage the conversation further before passing it to your team. Okay, let's move on to custom answers, or also formerly known as resolution bot answers. These help Fin answer questions on sensitive or important topics. They usually contain information you can't make publicly available on your help center. For example, it could be information about customers on different plans who need unique instructions according to their plan. That's not something you'd really want to make public in case the wrong person can search for it. So to create a custom answer, you train Fin to recognize the question, write the content of the answer, and then make sure only the right audience can see it. So if you have live custom answers, we recommend enabling them. Just note that Fin will prioritize these over any of the content you have already synced. We'll come back to custom answers in a bit more detail later. Okay, let's look at the final few sections here. For your bot introduction, we strongly recommend letting customers know that they're actually talking to a bot. Clearly setting expectations like this makes for much more successful interactions with bots. And if you want to change the identity for your bot, you'll find that in the settings menu. Okay, back to the setup steps. Let's finish off with scheduling and the audience who will actually receive it. You'll likely want Fin to work all day, every day, so there's not much need to edit these scheduling settings at the moment. But choosing who exactly to show Fin to is super important. And before setting it live to your customers, we actually recommend setting it live for your team to test and play around with. To do this, you could add a filter containing your internal email, so only your team will be able to see Fin. You should take a similar approach when rolling it out to your customers, aiming to do things in stages or groups. For example, you could choose everyone on a certain plan, or everyone in a certain location. Picking manageable customer segments like this allows you to supervise Fin closely and feel confident in the experience it creates for your customers. And after you go live, you can track the impact of Fin and identify ways to improve your resolution rates in the Fin report.